the acquaintance?
A dog named Bill, and he was going to a dog show now.
And your family was really supportive, but still I felt like everything was not what I know. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nelly, and this is our guest today, who is Daddy. This is my husband. So if you always see Nelly Harma, so he's the Harma to the Nelly. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Today we're going to be answering some Q&As, and I felt like the best way to do this is to have the two of us kind of try and answer this as best as we can. We have our questions here. So if you're going to see him looking down, definitely he's going to be reading on the questions, and we'll try and answer them, as I said, in our best way possible. So without further ado, please subscribe, like and share this video so that it can help us with the algorithm and also help us in growing this channel as well. So without further ado, we will get into the video.
I'm going to say just that, talking in this sort of sit-down format, it doesn't really come naturally to me. So if I seem a bit deadpan or or however I seem to anybody who's viewing this, that you just have to take it that way.
He'll be having his coffee here, so his tea, and I'll be having my 2 drinks here. Don't ask me what I'm drinking.
Did you move around with your parents or on your own? I think, meaning that did you live in different places with your parents and while you were single? What it means? That's all I understood.
Not mingling. I moved around my own country a lot with my parents, from the city to the village, from the village to the city, from the city to another city. That is what I did mostly. I'm not well traveled, and when I was by myself also, I moved around by myself from one town to another, and also lived by myself. Yeah.
Well, growing up I tended to live in one place, but we traveled quite a bit just to see family. Well, yes, and in adult life, I sort of moved around a bit between different countries and different locations. Yes, I guess, I moved around, but not with family per se. Or parents, rather.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, what do you love most about traveling?
For me, I feel like traveling kind of opens your mind and your intellect to different perspectives of life, I think. Like, life is just not within what you already know, but outside that box also exists something new and different, and you only get to do so when you travel and see other places and meet other people and meet other cultures and stuff.
Assuming that you're traveling it's better when, I travel for different reasons, for work and for non-work, so I'm going to go with the non-work. I noticed when I went to newer places I hadn't really knew existed, but I hadn't really thought of, and actually went there, that I was like, wow, yes, this is, you should realize you were actually missing something as soon as you liked the place. Obviously, I'm thinking of the Alps region of Western Europe. So when I went there for the first time, I of course knew about the Alps, but when actually seeing it, but I hadn't sort of actually ever thought of going there for some time, and then just because of an acquaintance, I went, and I suddenly was like, wow, I've been missing all.
Who is the acquaintance?
Missing all this, just a friend, yeah, so that was quite nice it was like a surprise. Like I didn't expect it to be so so amazing, actually. So yeah, it's good to it's nice when that happens.
Okay, can you tell us the acquaintance?
A dog named Bill, and he was going to a dog show now. When did you move to Finland, and how long have you been in Finland?
We moved here in June 2019, me and the kids. But you have a different moving date.
I came a little bit earlier just to set things up, yes, and then because I was working abroad, so Nelly and the children were in Nairobi.
He was in the UK, and then he came to Finland.
Traveling due to necessity is not always the most fun traveling. So, yeah.
It was really a hectic year for us that year.
Yeah, but anyway, we sorted it out. So yeah, so we've been here since basically 2019.
June.
Yeah, it was June.
Yeah.
When was the first time you really broke down and cried while living abroad?
The first year of living here was really hard, especially you being away working and me being here, and your family was really supportive, but still I felt like everything was not what I know or not accustomed to, and somehow I also had to find my own way. But it was like, you know, when you're still a baby and then you're forced to grow up, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I felt like. Like I did not have that humble time of adjusting to the life here. Like I just came and everything hit me like boom. You kind of have to.
Time to stay.
You know, me and my kids were going through this new transition in life, and as a mother, you always want to be able to protect and guide and support emotionally and everything. And I felt like I was really vulnerable because I myself was not even familiar with the environment itself, like never been to it before and stuff like that. So yeah, at some point I actually broke down and did a lot of tissue paperwork. Yeah.
Leaving places, like if it's some you know, it's normally when I'm like leaving a place or something that I know well, I might feel a bit emotional about it. Yeah, I mean, there's too many stories to go into, but not really being in a place as such. I mean, I felt the times where I wanted to go home, of course.
I think I remember one occasion where you mentioned to me about a kid in the IDP camp where you're working. Was it in Somalia? He does a lot of crying in the heart. I feel like your job kinda is it's a bittersweet side. It's a bitter side of life. Is it bittersweet or bitter? Bitter side of life. We had to take a short break to change the card because the card was really full. Yeah, so we continue. You ready?
What were you saying?
Let's do this. Okay.
Oh, it was that, yeah, just being cried, something about
You smell nice.
Okay, how did you handle the fear moving abroad?
I think we just moved. Like we did not even have any
Well, there wasn't
choice.
even time to think, because we've been planning this for, well, yeah, I mean, from my side, I don't know, I mean, did you have, I mean, I already knew where we were going, so it wasn't really an issue as such, but...
and I trusted you, you're bringing
me. And I've been, like I said, moving around so many times, it becomes kind of automatic. I don't think anymore. I just think that this is like it's just a set of logistical steps that have to happen in,
The only way to overcome a fear of anything is to actually just do it. Because if you don't do it, you just end up procrastinating. It's the same thing with my studies, you know. I had the fear of Finnish language. Now that I'm taking a healthcare degree in Finnish language, I kind of feel like that fear kind of loosened up a little bit. Because at first I did not even imagine myself doing this and I never thought I would actually do it. But then I just one day decided, let's just dive in and try. If it's just to go ahead and do it and then deal with the emotions later. That's me. Yeah, so I never had like time to really think about the fear part because I'm just like, let's dive in and then the emotions will come later. Yeah, I kind of love to sit back and think of how the year unwinded itself. Like how everything, you know, like now go and sit back and say, wow, that's where we came from.
Yeah. It was.
Because I feel like when you look at it like where you're going to, then it's kind of scary. But when you look at it like looking back, then you kind of feel like we did something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fairly optimistic because of the just the great, the greater more options here for the children to do things.
Yeah.
And also on their own and so on. So I didn't really have much concern actually about it. I thought it was going to be generally positive experience. I mean,
and I think also for me, the reason why I was not afraid so much is because you had been here, so I knew at some point if I needed help, I had someone to always ask.
Yeah, and then there's my family as well. So.
And no much as he's always been like this, working away from home, he's been always like the best support system. Like this man, I'll call him any time of the day and he'll answer to the call. Yeah. And try and help in any way he can. Like it's not like, even if he is always away, it kind of feels like he's still with me somehow.
Because people tend to adapt in, well, the only way they can, and they kind of just, they have to sort of calm their emotions to the absence of someone, and then, but that often means that they start to work out ways to sort of live without them, which then is not necessarily a good thing in the longer run. So I just tried to sort of even do homework. Another interruption.
Another interaction we had now to try and figure out how to charge the camera because it went off. But this video has to continue, so that was a break for you to, subscribe, like, and share.
How has your life changed since moving abroad?
I think my life has changed to the better, or to the best. I've had time to reevaluate my friendship with people. Like being alone kind of gave me time to reflect a lot on my past life as a person, and a lot of things, like just my life as Nelly and not everyone else's life entailed in it. So yeah, that kind of changed how I relate to people, and my tolerance to people I want in my life and people I don't want in my life has also changed. And tolerance to things that I do as well. Yeah, so I feel like these days it's not so easy for me to do things I don't like, which is why I have less friends. Yeah, I've now, things that I used to see like things I cannot do, I kind of now give myself room to do them. Like I've removed that box of these things I cannot do and these things I can do. You understand? Like before in Kenya, I used to be like, I just want to work in an office, and I was comfortable doing that. But these days, throw me anywhere. At the end of the day, I feel like different jobs give you different experiences, and so yeah, I could have not experienced that had I not come here.
Well, it makes you more flexible, more adaptable, and less what's the word? Less likely to be sort of panicked or surprised. I think in a way. You take sort of unexpected situation more in your stride then, basically. So I think it makes you more resourceful actually.
How does recycling system work in Finland?
All the solid waste collection companies are all obviously set up for this, and then you just have separate bins for glass, plastic, cardboard, metal, and then waste that is not sort of sortable. So kind of like mixed waste, things that aren't recyclable, and they just pick it up, and what they do with it, I guess they process it then from there on, and so on. But every
waste has its own place.
Building has, especially apartment flats, and they have also segregated bins for recycling in public places like shopping malls and even on the street and so on. So yeah, it's very straightforward. It's not really complicated.
I think the recycling system here in Finland is really good. Considering, like, I'm thinking about it when it comes to what we do back in my country. Where we used to live, we had like just one bag. There was obviously the garbage collectors, but then they gave only 2 bags. So in those 2 bags, you put all your garbage in one, and when it's full, you put on the next one, and you just mix everything in. and I don't know how they processed it from there, but I feel like it's more tedious to do so, if at all recycling is part of their goal as well. Then this one is much more easier because you have subdivided the waste according to where they're supposed to go to, so when they go, it's much more easier. But yeah, I feel like in Finland, people in the Nordics or in Europe, people recycle a lot.
Yeah, in Germany they've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
What common household appliances do they have in Finland?
All households, refrigerator, washing machine,
Yeah, so there's a
dryer
fridge, of course. Yeah.
sometimes.
There's a fridge.
But then there's a universal drying place. So dryer is not like must have.
Well, it depends on the
In
flats
all
too.
houses.
Some flats may have this sort of common washing facility.
Yeah.
Not all do.
Coffee machine is number one on that list.
Okay. And small items, yeah, like coffee. There's always coffee. Coffee maker.
Coffee maker is in every Finnish household.
Some,
that's for sure.
Yeah, some houses have a sauna too. If that's
In
an appliance.
sauna.
Small sauna or something.
Or if not have within the building, they have access to that within the. If they don't have in the house, they have access to that within the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's. And then it's option. I mean, they always have a slot for a microwave in the kitchen. You can put a microwave in if you have one. You know,
Yeah,
those are
but not
good,
all Finnish homes have microwaves.
I mean, we don't have one. I think they're completely
Yeah.
pointless. They just take up
I
space.
want one still. We still are talking about it.
What was the reason for moving to Finland?
What was the reason?
Okay.
Life here is very predictable, life in Finland. And it could not be predictable to everyone, but I'm just talking about from my own shoes. Life here is very predictable, and I know it's not everyone else's experience when it comes to living here. But I feel like in my country, life is very expensive and very unpredictable. Like, the more you pay for a service, the better the service is. The less you pay for the service, the worse the quality of the service is. And even sometimes you find that even when you pay a lot for a service, there's still some unpredictable things that come along even with a good service. And I believe that happens even here, just that I've not been able to experience it. We wanted a place where we could live as a family together without having one person having to go away and come back and go away and come back because of visa requirements and just many other issues. So we felt like if Finland was accepting all of us as at once, then that was much more better. UK was very expensive for us to move in as a family, and so yeah, that is why we moved to Finland to establish a family here. Not to have any more babies. That's for you to see.
Having this not possible.
To have
Not
many more
really
babies.
possible.
Can we have 10 more?
We'd have to buy a farm or something.
10 more
like that,
babies.
like-
No, we buy a big farm and we have like horses and cows, and I can
Yeah,
live my
that's
small
it.
little village life in that farm. And then we can have 10 more babies.
What do you all love most about the country you last resided in?
The most beautiful thing about my country is how friendly people are. Like, even if you get in the bus, you expect to talk to somebody. You can never be lonely in my country, that's for sure. I love the food as well. And the welcoming spirit of every Kenyan person. They even gave him a name. His name was Njuguna in Mountain View.
Was it?
The guys at the bus stop would call you Njuguna.
Chuguna, it sounds like a restaurant, doesn't it? Why?
And there was Njuguna, what was the place in Wayakiwe? Njugunas also, yeah.
But what does it mean?
It's just a name, but it's from a certain tribe of Kenya.
Oh.
But they used to call you Njuguna. And then there was a fish lady who used to call you Omosh.
Why were they giving you these nicknames?
No, because like to feel like to feel a part of something, a belonging,
Oh.
like to belong.
It does first dates sometimes, and then.
So out of that came your name.
Oh, was that it? Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did some first aid at a couple of traffic accidents. So, yeah.
So we used to do first aid along Wayakiwe, and so out of that bore the name
Oh.
from the other side of the community as Njuguna, and then on this other side of the community as Omosh.
I had no idea.
So every time I'd go like to buy fish or something, or I'd be passing and someone would be like, hey, how, the people who ride the Okadas would be like, hey, how is Njuguna today? I've not seen Njuguna for a long time. And I'd be like, oh, Njuguna is then working in another country. Then when is Njuguna coming back? Oh, I have a taxi, I can go pick him up for you, and stuff like that. And then, yeah, the fish that you'll be like, oh, I haven't seen a wash for a long time. Hey, how is the wash doing? So, yeah, that would be really nice.
That's
so,
funny. Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
love
nice.
that.
I didn't know that.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
that
cool.
we make people have a sense of belonging without knowing it actually.
Yeah,
I feel like no one just decides your name is your name. No one tells you your name is going to be so and so. But then it's someone who calls, oh, that's Njuguna, and then before you know it, you become a part of that place by having a relevant name to those people. Yeah, kind of assimilate. We assimilate people. Is it assimilation?
It's kind of like assimilation.
Yeah, we assimilate people. You don't feel like I'm always standing on the outside. Here, it's very easy to feel like you're on the outside a lot. Yeah.
You know.
Actually, I think here, if you don't work hard on assimilating yourself into the thing, into the society, you kind of will be always.
Well, people just leave you to your own devices.
Yeah. People leave it to yourself to do whatever you want with your life. So I feel like that's something we do miss most about.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I didn't know that they were
about Kenya.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, here we've had some interesting I mean, there have been some unexpected, like, people suddenly show a kind of start chatting, and then pieces. Oh, not like just any old time. The point is that they pick the moment. That's the thing. It's very like, okay, like you needed help, so this guy came through.
I had like extremely good experience with also Finnish people as a person.
When will you be traveling back home? No, we have no idea.
No idea right now. No idea right now. I feel like for us, having been here for 3 years, if we had no children...
3 years, it's coming up to 3 years. It's not quite.
It's coming up to 3 years, but not yet. If we had no children, then it could be more predictable, because then it means all the income we get, we focus on ourselves and our travels.
Well, I mean, yes, you're gonna like take the whole family along. It's
but
more,
when you have like kids and stuff,
slightly more just everything.
Yeah, we do plan to go back, but not. We have not like set a date yet, so we're still in saving for that trip, because we also don't want to travel in debt. Yeah, so that's what we're doing at the moment. So.
How do you manage life abroad, work, school, parenthood, being a couple?
Sharing responsibilities.
Yeah.
And creating time for it, trying to create time for each other. I think it's the only way, because here you don't get to have like house helps and stuff. I mean, you can hire a babysitter and you can hire a cleaner, but other than that, you don't get to, it's very expensive to have someone who comes to stay with you and works for you and stuff like that, as compared to in Kenya. Like actually, I never, almost never stayed without help at home. I always had someone helping around. Yeah. But now it's zilch. I came here, I was like, sleeves up.
Well, at least here there's a washing machine. Well, we have washing machine also.
We had washing machine in Kenya too.
But
we still had someone helping around. I felt like I was, at some point, I feel like I really, I mean, I appreciated and paid them according to their services. But I feel like now I have like deep honor for their services more than I did when I was back at home. Because you never see the impact of their work until you don't have them anymore. And that's what they say about life. You only get to miss the sun when it starts to rain or when it starts to snow, you know. So yeah, but we do help each other with every work, and we try and schedule our works around family and stuff. So if we have an appointment, then one person will go for the appointment, as the other person is maybe busy or...
Yeah, I guess being flexible, just trying to equalize, take an equal share of all the different activities and so on. So,
that brings us to the end of the question. Subscribe, like, share if you can. Planning to do this as a full-time thing for myself because I'm currently a student. So if there's any way you'd support me right now, is just to click on that subscribe button and also share and watch the videos, please. And I'll appreciate you for that. But until the next time, we're saying bye. We sign out.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. You wanna say cheese, toast?